She sat across from her best friend of 20 years. 2 miscarriages, active fertility treatment, and a phone shoved directly in her face. And somehow Reddit is asking if she is the problem. Okay, we are doing this one today because I genuinely need to talk about it. This story hit every single comment section it touched like a freight train. And by the time I get to what the friend did after the dinner, I need you to be sitting down. Stay with me. So this was posted on Reddit's Am I the Asshole forum by a woman we are going to call Jess, because she deserves a name. Jess and her husband have been going through something that nobody talks about enough. 2 miscarriages. The most recent one was in January. And if you have never been through fertility struggles personally, I want you to hear this. Research has found that the emotional weight of infertility is medically comparable to the weight of a cancer diagnosis. That is not a metaphor. That is from actual peer-reviewed studies. So Jess has been in a deep depression. She has been back and forth to fertility doctors. She has been navigating what her life looks like now. And she finally started to come out the other side. She decided to go to dinner with 2 close friends because she was trying to feel normal again. She was trying to have one normal night. Now she has this friend. We are going to call her Amber. Jess herself writes that over the past couple of years, she has noticed Amber becoming less and less empathetic toward other people. Specifically, whenever Amber thinks it is her moment. And I want you to remember that detail because it is going to matter very soon. So they sit down at the restaurant. And before anyone can even order drinks, Amber looks up, holds her phone directly in all of their faces and goes, "I am pregnant." Jess looks up and she sees the phone. Recording her face. Recording her reaction in real time. She writes that she felt absolutely sick. The other friend at the table, who also knew Jess's entire fertility journey, was also visibly stunned. And Jess, because she is an absolute warrior, pulled herself together in the space of about 2 seconds, while tears were already coming. She smiled. She said, "Oh wow, I had a feeling." Because she was being recorded. And she did not want to ruin her friend's moment. Let me say that again. She was falling apart inside, and her only instinct was to protect her friend's feelings. So then what happens? Amber puts the phone down and spends the entire rest of the dinner talking about the pregnancy. Due dates, names, nursery ideas. All of it. Not once did she look at Jess and ask if she was okay. Friend B eventually tried to steer the conversation, but Amber kept bringing it back to herself. Jess sat through that entire dinner, held herself together, went home, and then felt guilty about it. That is the kind of person we are dealing with here. And here is where I need you to keep watching, because what Amber did after the dinner is actually what broke the internet. I want you to think about something for a second. Jess was not angry at her friend for being pregnant. She said it herself in the comments. She was happy for her. She genuinely was. What she was not okay with was being ambushed on camera with no warning by someone who knew her entire story. And here is the thing that one of the top comments pointed out that made me put my phone down for a solid 10 seconds. If you literally just Google the words "how to tell my friend who is struggling with infertility that I am pregnant," the very first result tells you to do it over text. So they can process their emotions privately. So they can feel whatever they feel without a camera in their face. This is not a secret. This information is everywhere. Amber just chose not to look for it. So after the dinner, Jess eventually opens up to Amber about how hard that night was for her. She was not aggressive about it. She was honest. She said the way the announcement was made her feel blindsided and overwhelmed. And Amber's response? She cut contact. 20 years of friendship. And the moment Jess expressed a single vulnerable feeling Amber left. Not "I am so sorry, I did not think about how that would land." Not "You are right, I should have handled that differently." Just gone. And then, because this story could not possibly get any more unhinged, word got back to Jess that Amber was telling their mutual friends that Jess had ruined her announcement. She was recording on an ambush with no warning to a woman who had just lost 2 pregnancies. And somehow the story that made the rounds was that Jess ruined it. The comment section was not playing around. One of the most upvoted responses said you sat through the whole dinner in tears, and you are asking if you are the problem. Another commenter, who had experienced 4 miscarriages, wrote that she was screaming at her phone. And honestly, same. I want to step back for a second, because this story is about more than one bad dinner. There is a really specific kind of emotional labor that women in fertility struggles are expected to perform. They are expected to be happy for everyone else. They are expected to show up, to smile, to celebrate, to hold it together. And the moment they do anything less than that, even when they are doing it completely silently, they become the problem. Jess held it together that entire dinner. She protected Amber's moment. She went home and then fell apart. And she still ended up on a Reddit forum asking if she was the asshole. Think about how deeply that conditioning runs. That someone can go through all of that and still wonder if they are the one who did something wrong. And the detail that came out in the comments about Amber getting upset that her friend broke her leg at her wedding, and it quote ruined 45 minutes of dancing. That is not a character detail. That is a pattern. That is a person who has been telling you exactly who they are for years. Here is what I think actually happened at that dinner. Amber knew. She knew about the fertility journey. She knew about the miscarriages. And she made a choice. She chose her moment over her friend's well-being. That might sound harsh, but when you know someone's full story and you still pick the version of your announcement that centers your joy above their grief, that is a choice. And just expressing that she was hurt by that choice is not ruining anything. That is just honesty. The kind of honesty that 20 years of friendship should be able to hold. Amber proved it could not. And as painful as that is also information. Really important information. Reddit gave Jess a unanimous verdict. Not the asshole. Not even close. But I want to hear what you think, because this one is layered. Was Amber being selfish? Yes. Does that also mean she might not have fully understood the weight of what she was doing? Or is that just an excuse we give people who have already shown us exactly who they are? Drop it in the comments. I genuinely want to know where you land on this one.